Hello and welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. As usual, we will pick up something from our day to day life and see the connection with the knowledge which is embedded in our ancient texts. Think of the scene of a courtroom. The situation is very intense. Discussions and debates are taking place. The courtiers are discussing about trade, the routes, the tariffs, and so on. The generals are talking about the wars which are taking place in the borders and the urgency with which the king must act on various such matters. The king is thinking through, king is looking for counsel. The young and the tall, lanky minister stands up. He rises slowly. He looks at his colleagues, the courtier's eyes. He scans all through the courtroom. He connects with everyone. There is silence. Everybody is not only ears and eyes on this minister, but their heads and hearts are on every bit this minister is going to speak. They all know that this minister's words are highly regarded because this minister's counsel is always wise and the king really values it. What does this minister do? He is Chanakya. Why does he take that pause? He thinks through, he connects, he assures everyone that what he is going to say is well thought through, is not as a result of the reaction to what others said. We live in a world where we rush to speak, we rush to give our opinion. If we are not quick to respond, then we are considered as useless, we are considered slow, we are considered sometimes stupid. Sun Tzu. There are many stories associated with Sun Tzu, but one such was very interesting. Once in the campfire, he listens in silence to all the conversations which are happening ignominiously around him, around the campfire. He is listening to the feet of his weary soldiers. He is listening to those little laughs. He is listening to those little joys. He is also listening to those worried voices of conversations which are taking place. He is making his own calculation. He is trying to assess. He is taking in all these inputs that he is getting. He goes on a walk along with his troop. The troop is walking. He is walking ignominiously with them. The troop is not conscious that the general is walking behind them. He makes his own assessment about the readiness of his troop. If he asks his troop about the readiness to fight, the troop is not going to tell him that they are tired. But he is understanding, he is assessing to what extent his troop is really ready. And accordingly, he decides how much of ammunition, how much of intensity, and which directions, and all other aspects of his war strategy depending upon all this. Can you imagine the maturity of taking this pause before acting? Beautiful, isn't it? Similarly, in ancient Greece, you would have heard of Megasthenes, who used to rise to the podium to speak, but he used to take a pause until the audience really settled down, was completely quiet, and the audience really established a connection with the speaker. Another great example. Think of our ancient text of Mahabharata, the great warrior Arjuna. He tells his charioteer Sri Krishna, take me to the battlefield, to the center of the battlefield, so that I get a great view of the entire battlefield. I want to see who all are there assembled for this battle so that we can think through how to proceed. Of course, what follows after that is another episode. However, the point is that before you act, you must pause. Our ancient texts have said this through many stories. There is no need to rush. Nobody really cares if we spoke first or we spoke the last. Martin Luther King was asked once and he's about leadership, and he said he observed his father being a tribal leader that he spoke in the last after all his men spoke in a meeting. They always sat in a circle and his father spoke at the last, and his father's words were taken really seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear children, it has got deep significance in the kind of life that we all live today. Think about this.